Hello guys and welcome to the video. So today we're going to be reviewing the Ezios and which ones are good and keepers and potentially worth the skill ups from the part 2 event, and which ones are total garbage that if you even think of using, I would say uninstall the game. I'm joking, you're free to use whatever unit you want. But let's go through them. I've already been through all of these like a million times. And there's a specific unit in here that I am going. I'm just like, why? Why do you exist, right? It's like I don't do that to too many units, right? To some units, I'm like, hey, you know what? You have a use. But this specific unit, the one that I'm gonna show you soon, has no use. Not to me. This is the first time ever that I'm just like, fuck this guy, right? Whatever. Let's get into it. Fire Ezio. I'm not even going to talk about the stats. I'll point the stats out if he has an exceptional stat, but it's just like the defense is whoa, okay, whatever. Attack is okay. HP is meh. Speed is meh. Arena attack power lead. Skill 1 attacks the enemy to inflict damage that ignores all damage reduction effects. This is what a majority, I think, if not all the Ezios are going to have on their skill 1. Skill 2 attacks the enemy 2 times to decrease its defense with an 80% chance and its attack bar by 50% with a 30% chance. That chance goes from 30% to 50%, and you can do this from every 4 turns to every 3 turns when fully skilled up. Pretty good. Defense break plus attack bar reduction is always good. I'm noticing that a lot of these units, like the Ivors and the Ezios, reduce attack bar. I like that, especially every 3 turns. And his passive inflicts damage that ignores the defense in proportion to the enemy's lost HP by at least 30%, up to 100% when you attack on your turn. So when I look at this, what I'm thinking, what I'm reading, I try to like read through the units a couple times just to make sure, is that at first he's only going to be ignoring 30% of the enemy's defense when the enemy's at full HP, but as the enemy begins to lose HP, he starts ignoring more defense. That sounds stupid. It sounds so bad to me. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, he could be used, but it's just like he ignores less defense from the start. You have to actually already be doing damage for him to start ignoring more defense, up to 100%. It's just a terrible passive. I wonder what everybody else says. You can't build this unit on destroy because you need the enemy to lose as much HP's percent to ignore whatever. Okay. Wow. Buff. Yeah. This guy needs a buff. People are actually using him. Are they using him successfully? Is it successfully being used? Whatever. I don't like him. I can see him being used for PvP when he gets a buff. When he gets a buff and they change this ignore defense thing around, PvP, right? At the moment, it's just like, oh, this is always the case when a new unit comes out most of the time. Is either they're so broken that they need a nerf, or they're so bad that they need a buff, right? It seems. So, in this situation, it's just like he's so bad, in my opinion, that he needs a buff. So at the moment, I'd say he's like a 4 or 5 out of 10, right? It's just like he's okay. He's not bad. I don't want to say he's complete garbage, but he's not good. So, let's move on. Let's move on to the next one, the Water Ezio. He actually has much more attack than the other one. By the way, the other one is a Nat 5. This one is also a Nat 5. HP lead in Arena. Same first skill. Second skill grants the threat state on the allied target. It basically explains here what the threat state is. Enemies, excluding the boss, can only attack the target under the threat state with attack skills, while enemies attack with a single target skill 2 times. What? it feels like are they repeating themselves? Every 3 turns. Every 3 turns. This is, as you're gonna see soon, is really good on a lot of the other Ezios. This one I can't necessarily see why his kit needs it, but it's still a good skill. You could have this purposefully go towards a counter unit, provoking it. You could have you could like enter with like a Riley. I'm just guessing, right? An RTA or something like that, and then just have them put the threat state on Riley, and then they're forced to stack totems, right? I'm thinking of the right unit, right? Right, Riley. So it's like she's gonna end up stacking totems automatically. That's just what I'm thinking. That's my thought process. But skill 3 attacks all enemies to remove all beneficial strip or effects. So it's an AoE strip, which I like. Afterwards, increases the attack bar of the ally with the highest attack bar by 25%, and the attack power of the ally with the second highest attack bar for 2 turns every 4 turns. This one I don't necessarily like. That second part, I don't just. This would actually be good. Like, he would actually be like really, really good, in my opinion, if he just increased everybody's attack bar by 25% and then give everyone an attack buff. Like, why cater to only 2 units out of the team? So it's like, hey, one ally gets attack bar, the other one gets an attack buff, third one gets nothing. What's the point, right? I mean, it's still an AoE strip. I mean, be glad about that. But it's just like, I don't quite understand why one unit gets an attack bar increase and the other one gets an attack buff. Make his skill 3 attack buff apply to all. Yeah, exactly. See? I just, I mean, of course his usage is going to be arena. Yeah. Yeah, no, he's okay. His kit, I would say, is like a 7 out of 10, maybe. I'll say 6 out of 10. AoE strip, threat state, I like those. Attack bar increase and attack buff, I guess, but it's just like, what's the point of just single units? If you can make it all units get the attack buff, or the attack buff and attack bar increase, I think it's good, right? It's pretty good. Moving on, the Wind Ezio. This guy is so fucking garbage. I hope I'm not the only one who thinks this. Oh my gosh. Leader skill, defense of ally monsters in the arena by 38%. First 2 skills as the fire one. Now, third skill. Attacks all enemies to decrease their attack bar by 25% each. Decreases skill cooldown times of all allies by 1 turn each if an enemy dies. This is garbage. Okay. So, in case for some reason some people are like, hey, how's he garbage? I mean, AoE attack bar decrease plus skill cooldown time resets. You know, it's like he's like decreasing the cooldown times of our skills by 1 turn. Well, how's this bad? Read his skill. First of all, AoE attack bar decrease is cool, right? 25%, good. But he has to kill an enemy to actually reduce the cooldown times of all your allies by 1. Let's look. So you're bringing him for the skill cooldown times and the attack bar decreasing, right? Let's look at this. Mav. Let's first look at Mav. He's a unit we've had forever. And he's rarely used too often, but he's good. So, third skill, which you could use every 3 turns, so more than the Wind Ezio, removes 1 harmful effect from all allies, decreases skill cooldown time by 1 turn, and increase their attack speed for 2 turns. So, single, 1 debuff cleanse, cleanses all allies. He does reduce the skill cooldown time by 1, so he can do it, guaranteed, and increases their attack speed. While the Wind Ezio is not guaranteed. You have to kill the enemy. But if you're like, hey, but I want the attack bar decreasing and the skill cooldown time, it's a combo, it's a wombo combo that I want. Wuchi does it better. Anyways, Wuchi has better speed. But let's look. Attacks all enemies by playing the magic flute and sets their attack bar to 0. So, while Ezio's over here doing 25%, Wuchi's just taking away the entire attack bar. So, better. Entire attack bar is gone. Versus Ezio's 25%. In addition, decreases skill cooldown time of all allies by 1 turn each every 4 turns. So same 4 turns like Ezio, but he's guaranteeing the skill cooldown times, and he does it to 0, not by 25%. So we already have an Ezio, but better. In Wuchi. So it's just like, this is awful to me. Now to other people that you guys might like it, I don't like it. He definitely needs a buff. Because, oh gosh. Wuchi even has higher defense. I mean, he has higher attack, but Wuchi has higher defense and speed. Yeah, I think the Wind Ezio's garbage. Let's move on. We're not going to talk about it. I don't think we need to talk about it. So, the Light Ezio. By the way, good HP. I like it. Arena crit rate lead. Same 2 skills as the water one. And then, Air Assassination. Attacks the enemy and fills up your attack bar if the enemy dies. Additionally, passive skills of all enemies excluding the boss are not activated. This is insane. Light Ezio is probably one of the best, not the best, but one of the best collab monsters. Guaranteed. You're like, hey, how's this insane? Tyrannus. You know how you kill Tyrannus and he revives into beast form with 30% HP at the moment of death? No, you don't, because he doesn't. Because when Light Ezio kills him, he doesn't revive because the passive is not activated. You know how you hate going to arena and having to face these annoying Savannah users? Because every time you destroy or cause, the Beast Rider to die, she revives at the last moment in battle and gets, she does this bullcrap. No, you don't, because she doesn't do that. Because her passive does not proc. She just dies. How about, that time when you were in arena and... Gosh, where's he? Where's he? And when you killed Perna? And Perna revived because of her passive? No, you don't, because Perna doesn't revive with her passive. Because the passive doesn't proc. It doesn't. Now, I might be reading this totally wrong, but it says passive skills of all enemies, excluding the boss monsters, which that would be like PvE, are not activated. So obviously this is referring to, I'm assuming, Necropolis, where you can't use this on the boss. But Beast Riders, Druids, all of those units, their passives do not proc. So no revives, no dismounting, no nothing. Which to me is insane. This Light Ezio, again, I will fully rep this monster. It's one of the best collab monsters in general. If you get this guy, skill him up. That is the guy you're going to skill up. I wonder what people are saying about him. Is he good? Yes, he's good. So this guy pretty much says it the best. He's good to knock down Revivers, Beast Riders, Molly, Lycas. Really? That your attacks won't land as a glancing hit, and the inflicted damage of one attack won't exceed 24% of the max HP. Additionally, counterattacks, it doesn't matter. The passive doesn't matter because you have to kill him anyways. I don't know why he put Leica in there. Molly, I think, is in the same boat with this one. Increase the chances of all allies receiving glancing hits and recovers the HP of all allies. Okay, yeah, it doesn't matter. But point being is the passives don't work. So you get passives. I think. Am I thinking of him? So this, I mean, he kind of works on this one because he drains life from the enemy whenever the enemy's turn ends. So if he kills an enemy, technically this shouldn't proc. But point being, he's really good. I think he's really, really good. I think he's one of the best ones at the moment, you know, before the buff. The Dark Ezio. Oh, he's about the second worst one out of all of them, in my opinion. Unless I'm not reading his skills correctly. So, first skill, attacks the enemy that inflicts damage that ignores all damage reduction effects. Skill 2, attacks the enemy 2 times to decrease its defense with an 80% chance and its attack bar by 50%. It's the same as the other ones, right? So his passive attacks additionally with an attack that cannot be counterattacked. What is my English, man? That cannot be counterattacked. God dang it. When you attack the enemy on your turn, it's an automatic effect. Is this all it does? Is it only just an extra attack? Or what? Because it kind of attacks additionally. So let's just say theoretically, I do attack like not Mo Long, but Feng Yan, right? He does skill 2. So he counterattacks. Now you're like, oh, well, yeah, he can't counterattack that. But won't he just counterattack the initial attack? I'm kind of confused on that one a little bit. Clearly I am. So if I use skill 1 should be counterattacked. Unless the passive, takes over the entire thing. So is he just a unit that just cannot be counterattacked no matter what? Or is it just that additional attack? Which, if it's just that additional attack, that makes no sense. So I'm guessing this means that every single one of its attacks cannot be counterattacked ever. Right? Because if you can attack 2 times with this, and those 2 times have a chance to be counterattacked, and then it's just that extra additional that can't be counterattacked, that is the most useless passive I've ever seen. But not only that, that's not the only question. Does this proc the passives of the first 2 skills? So it's like, even though it doesn't say anything, if I were to do this, skill 1, will both attacks ignore all damage reduction effects? Or if I do this one, since it attacks the enemy 2 times, will that third attack that passive procs also decrease defense and attack bar? If so, then that makes it a little bit better. But if not, then what is it doing? You see where I'm kind of getting at? So it's just like, we could do one thing. We're gonna go into skill preview. So it's not. I hate the skill preview so much. That was just you guys just had to experience like 5 seconds of just the dumbest shit. Oh my god. So yes. In order, Light Ezio's the best. Then the Water Ezio. Then the Fire one. Then the Dark one. Then the Wind one. I just think the Wind one is completely stupid. Because at the very least, the Dark one has a passive that does something. This is just... Actually, no, I might put... Okay, whatever. The Wind Ivor, or Ezio, and the Dark Ezio you can put wherever you want, but the Light one's the best. That's what we're going to be talking about today. That's it. I'm just so confused. This is such a... Whatever. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.